Okay, we're live. Hi guys, glad to be here today. Gotta go right into the show, so tune in. Hey, share this with everybody you know.
Brought to you on WSB by Virtual Imaging.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So glad you spend a little time with us today. We're talking today about heart disease. Now, a lot of you know about heart disease. It's all over the news, and you know that fried foods are bad for you, and you know that stress can be bad for you, and you know that a lot of meats and dairy products and animal products will certainly increase your risk of heart disease. But we're going to talk about today about some other things that might be causing heart issues. Because if you've listened to the show before, our goal is one thing. Our goal is to help you get well and stay well. And so let's assume you're changing your diet, but there's other things you're not doing. And that's why it always amazes me. People call me all the time, daily, several times daily, send me emails and texts, emails anyway. And they say, Dr. Joe, what can I do to lower my blood pressure? Well, we've done many, many shows on lowering blood pressure. It's not a thing. There are things you need to do to lower your blood pressure, fix your cholesterol levels, to lose weight. So we cover that on the shows. And if you go to my website, drjoe.com, we have over 1,000 hours of podcasts. You type in a search bar what you're looking for, and articles will come up related to it. Videos, audios will come up related to it. So we have those answers out there already in most cases. But now we have to talk about other things that you might be doing. Because I want you to understand it, you have to take a whole lifestyle approach to it. So research shows noises can actually increase your risk of heart disease. New study released in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology shows that noise pollution may be a significant impact on cardiovascular health. Now, this is a big issue because when I was young, way back when, there was noise. But now the big problem is headsets. I wear a headset when I do radio shows. And so when you put earphones on or buds in, I have a whole headset here if you're not watching us on live stream, and if it's too loud, it can cause some real serious problems. Researchers believe that noise pollution causes a surge of stress hormones, which appear to be harmful, and the effects can be on the arteries and in heart disease and the rest of the body. So what happens is the noise causes the body to release things like cortisol. Now, if you've listened to my shows before, cortisol is a chemical that's released from your adrenal glands. It's a corticosteroid. And when it gets into the body, in short term, it's very important. Because right now, let's assume I'm in the studio and a gun goes off. Okay, boy, my body's going to release cortisol. Cortisol is going to mobilize nutrients, get fuel into the cells. And it's really important. But the problem is when we have long-term stress. When you have long-term chronic stress, the cortisol release can cause problems. One of the things we have when I do my lectures on weight loss is that stress can actually increase your risks of gaining weight. Because stress releases cortisol. Cortisol causes you to lay down fat. And if you have chronic stress, fat just continues to get laid down. Fat produces estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone. Estrogen causes you to lay down fat. So if you're chronically stressed, you're releasing cortisol, which causes you to lay down fat, which causes estrogen production, which causes you to lay down fat. So when it comes to trying to lose weight, it's not just about eating better. There's a whole lifestyle protocol you need to put together. That's what we're talking about today with heart disease. I'm going to open up the phones. If you have any healthcare questions, give us a call. The number here is 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. And if you're a regular listener to the show, you know we cover any topic you have, not necessarily heart disease or whatever topic we're doing. Any questions you have about health and wellness, let's see if we can help you out. 844-44-Dr.Joe. Lines are open right now. So noise causes cortisol release, which can increase your risk of heart disease. New research cannot prove that noise causes heart disease, but it provides convincing evidence that stress, especially when generated by noise, is linked to big consequences. So how much noise? Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. There's no set threshold for established risk, but we do know that about 60 decibels of sound can increase your risk of heart disease. Now, the sound of a dishwasher is around 60 decibels. So again, that's the low end. Most of us are fine with that. We kind of block it out. But what happens when we start getting things around like a jackhammer? 100 decibels. Airplane taking off can be as loud as 120 decibels. And here's the funny thing, too, that I remember years ago, the Rolling Stones did a concert, and they were the loudest rock band in history. I think they were in like what's that book? Come on, world records. What's the one world record?
Guinness Book.
Guinness, there you go. I was thinking Ripley's, but that's Believe It or Not. The Guinness World Book of Records. So a loud concert can even be stressful to you. Now, a friend of mine, Tim, he's a musician, and he always keeps earplugs with him. And he always has his earplugs in whenever we go to a concert, whenever we go someplace noisy, and he's really super sensitive to that. But he said to me too, he says, listen, as a musician, I was exposed to a lot of noises when I was younger. He says, so what we have to do then is I have to protect my ears. And I thought, good for him, because a lot of musicians, as they get older, start to lose their hearing because they think, I'm tough, I can handle this. So when you go to concerts, folks, please be careful with that. I went to a restaurant the other day. A good friend of mine just opened up another restaurant, really good food. But I was there with Sierra and Garrett, and we're having dinner, and there was music in the background, live music. And I said to Sierra, too, I said, I just don't like the live music. It's too noisy, and I want to focus on my dinner.
Yeah, we were talking about that. It's too noisy, and you can't even concentrate on what you're saying, and it kind of almost like pollutes the atmosphere because you're so busy focusing on the music, you can't focus on enjoying the time and
Exactly.
what's going on.
And I wanted to talk to you and Garrett, but I couldn't because the noise was so loud. So be careful around noise, folks. It's a big thing. And now the reason I bring that up is earbuds, because you put your earbuds in and your phone says, don't go any higher. It can cause problems. Be careful with that. I'm going to take some more calls. I'm going to take some calls. If you have any questions on health, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Then we'll get back to strange causes of heart disease. Let's start with Adam. Adam, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe. I am probably going to be visiting your office in Duluth tomorrow. First question, do you sell the Super Greens and Essential Source at that office?
Yes, Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We do sell them there, and that'll save you shipping as well, yes. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Also, my main question was, because this will be the first time I've used either one,
okay,
what are some great ways to mix that in with something?
Adam, that is a great question, and I think about this every week, and I never cover it on the show, so I'm so glad you brought that up. I use coconut milk or almond milk. I use the regular kind because unsweetened, it can be a little heavy, the flavors. I'm fine with that. Some people just do water, and they're fine with it. So try it the way you like it. What you can do, ultimately, is just mix in a half a banana, some frozen berries, put it in a blender and whip it up. Works wonders. And then you got a smoothie, and it tastes great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic. All right. I'm excited to pick some up. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. And, folks, if you don't know what that is, it's two supplements. We have a whole line of supplements, Dr. Joe supplements. But Super Greens and the Essential Source are like our flagship products. Super Greens is wheatgrass, barley grass, and alfalfa grass, chlorella, spirulina, and dulse. The reason I formulated that is because most of us are too acidic. We eat bad foods, we're under stress, we're talking about loud noises, cortisol, and that increases the acidity in your body. And the body doesn't like being acid. It likes being slightly alkaline. So what we do then is we try to alkalize the system with a really super high concentration of nutrients, specifically minerals, and the Super Greens is great for that. It also has dulse in there. Now, dulse is seaweed, and it has iodine. And almost everyone is deficient in iodine. Your thyroid needs iodine. I was talking to a couple of doctor friends the other day, and somehow Super Greens and Essential Source came up because everyone loves it. They take it all the time. Doctors take it, nurses, hospitals. I mean, it's just crazy. Doctors now carry it in their offices because it's two amazing products. And we were talking about the iodine, and I said, T1, 2, 3, and 4, those are your thyroid hormones, T1, T2, T3, and T4. And I said, the numbers stand for how many molecules of iodine are attached to the hormone. And the doctors looked at me. They said, is that what that means? They had no idea. So your body needs iodine in order for the thyroid to function properly. And most of us don't get any iodine except for iodized salt, which is not a good form of iodine. And so this is just amazing. And so a lot of people, if there's metabolism issues, if there's hormone issues, we got to get them on Super Greens and Essential Source. They're two powders. Like I said, we mix them up with anything you want, and they taste great. So that's the story there. If you have any questions, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Oh, lost you. Sorry about that. Folks, got to go to a break. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you have any questions, 844-44 Dr. Joe. We'll be right back. Thank you. I got lost there, didn't I? Yeah. Bring me back in.
You get so excited about your products, you can't stop.
I know.
It's just so good. You just want everybody to know how good
I want everyone to have it. Yes. Any questions for social media?
Yeah, one guy actually has a comment about what we're talking about tonight. He said that he used to work painting cars, and 3M came out, said that the air that they were using to blow off the cars and blow out the vents and stuff,
Sure.
was damaging to hearing. Said that the wind coming out was at the same speed of a jet.
Wow.
They gave them earplugs, but otherwise, there was no mention of anything about heart disease, so it's still pretty infant.
Yeah. The whole noise pollution thing, yeah. Well, nobody wants to admit it because then if I'm making air and I don't want to tell people, don't use this stuff, it's bad. So that's why you listen to the show, because you learn new things. That's great. So, Louis, anything over there on Instagram?
A lot of people joining there. I think they're all
They're all just so excited about the show, they don't have any questions yet. Okay?
What can you do about carpal tunnel?
Carpal tunnel, great
Ask that
question. You
We
what?
talked about it on our pop-up show on Friday.
That's right. If you were watching on Friday, we did a whole. I thought I talked about this recently. Yeah,
This was like a
carpal
whole
tunnel
week ago.
is right. There's a tunnel in your wrist right here, and the carpal bones form this tunnel, and the median nerve runs through it. And many times we do surgery to release the band in there to try to take the pressure off the median nerve. But what oftentimes is ignored is there's a bone called a hamate. It's one of your wrist bones, and it has a hook in it. And the median nerve runs through that hook, and if the hamate bone subluxates or dislocates backwards, that can pull on the median nerve. So many times we can adjust the wrist and release the stress in there. Other times it's a pinched nerve in the neck, and the nerve in the neck goes down into the wrist.
And a lot of people that have carpal tunnel syndrome get it from working at a desk.
Right.
looking
Sierra,
at a
can you ask
computer,
Juliet to give me a name on line 1? It just says G. Yeah, because
looking at the screen, bent over.
yeah. Yeah, you think that you're doing this, it's a wrist problem, but many times it's a neck issue, like Garrett was saying, from bending over and pinching the nerve that goes into the wrist. So it's usually a chiropractic case. What is it?
The name is G.
Oh, the name is G. Okay, well then never mind. Okay. Anything else there, Mr. G?
My husband and I have switched to an all-organic, plant-based diet.
Yay.
Finding it so much easier than we thought.
Yes.
And thank you for all you do.
Isn't it so easy? And that's a rhetorical question, of course. Yes, it's so easy. It's so quick. It's so cheap. I can't imagine why anyone would not want to do a plant-based diet. The only reason is some of that bad stuff tastes good. I'm not going to lie to you. It does taste good. But is it worth it?
One thing you would eat if you were to cheat right now.
That
If I was-
sandwich, the meatballs or whatever.
Meatball sandwich with provolone cheese on Italian bread. Come on, man. Sarah knows. Yes.
Can you take super greens after a thyroidectomy with thyroid medication?
Absolutely yes. You still need iodine. Every cell in your body needs iodine, not just your thyroid. So the answer is a resounding yes. You need it, as a matter of fact. So yes.
And before we keep going, 750 will be a vertical into head to toe. 820 we'll go into vitamin D in the beginning before you talk about head to toe with Dr. Joe.
Okay.
To take it into next week's show.
Right.
And then same thing at 850, take it into next week's show right before we.
Remind me again.
I will.
Okay, good.
I'll give you a sticky note.
Okay. Stiff pancreas muscles. That's an interesting question. Wow. Mary, eating plan to lose weight. How many shows do we have to do on that? We should just do that show.
Every week.
Every week from now on. Yes.
Here's a positive question.
I like positive questions.
Been on Super Greens and Essential Source, coming up on a year. Also, adrenal support, nitric oxide, D with K2, and my hair is getting more wavy.
Isn't that
I know
nice?
it grows faster, but any thoughts on hair getting more wavy? I think that's just healthier hair.
Healthier hair. Yeah, protein. Because if you look at younger people, they usually have nice, robust hair, and as people get older, it gets straight. And that's just aging. So that's a sign that it's actually getting better. So that's cool. Oh, never mind.
Sounded like you're
Psych.
coming back.
I know. I thought we were coming back there.
I know that when my hair is healthier, it's wavier, and if
Yeah.
I'm not eating right, then my hair gets like
Ratty.
thin and
Yeah.
wispy and.
Mhm. Yep, good. Perfect. Oh, Garrett's got those sticky notes out. Live on my sticky notes. Love those sticky notes. Oh, God, they're awesome. I got them next to my bed. I got 5 next to my bed. 3 of them for you, Garrett, by the way.
I go into his office and write sticky notes of things that he needs to do at home so that he
You
remembers.
infested my house with sticky
See, before you started working here, it was calm, it was peaceful. You didn't know how to produce a radio show. Okay, here we go. Hey, Dr. Joe here. So glad. Heart disease today, but not the typical things. We've done shows on heart disease before on cholesterol, but we're talking about things that you might not know about. In the first segment, we talked about sound and how loud noises can increase your risk of stress hormones, which can increase your risk of heart disease, which ties into the stress. So if you have a job that's very loud, I want you to consider wearing earplugs. You can't, you don't want to ignore that. I want to talk about sleep and breathing and how that can affect your arteries as well. But we've got a lot of callers. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Julia's our screener today. She'll get you on the air if you have a good question. Mary, how can we make your day better? Hello.
Hey, Dr. Joe. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Pleasure. My pleasure's mine. How can we help you today?
Hey, I'm trying to lose some weight and change my life for good.
Good girl.
I am pretty much I try to be as plant-based as possible.
Sure.
Excuse me, but with all this, the craze with the keto stuff and all that, I feel like, why do that when you're just going to pollute yourself in a different way, right? Because most of it is animal products. So
right.
I am to the point where, should I eat a sweet potato? Should I eat a baked potato? And I'm talking baked and plain. Or should I try to just completely leave carbs out of it and just continue to try to just eat fruits and vegetables?
Yes. Second one. Yes. Stay away from the carbs. The carbs convert into fat. Now, I've tried doing a vegan keto diet, and it can be done. Mm-hmm. However, I don't do well with fat. For example, yesterday, I went to this great party. A friend of mine, Dr. Chappis, Atlanta Spine Center, this great party. And there wasn't a lot of food for me to eat as a plant-based person. So there was a corn salad, corn and beans, and there was guacamole. When I eat fatty foods like guacamole, I put on weight. Now, according to the keto diet, you should be able to do that and not gain weight. It's the carbs that gain weight, not the fats. I don't do that well. And then there was corn, of course, which I did have some, and it was delicious. But the corn, what do we feed cows to make them fat? Corn. Because corn is high in high fructose corn syrup, which then converts into fat. So you got to kind of decide what's going to work best for you. But if you're trying to lose weight, absolutely plant-based diet. Today, again, I felt pudgy today, so I had some broccoli. I roasted up some broccoli. I had a salad today. So I ate really good and clean today, excessively clean, to get just that one day, get it out of there. But yeah, plant-based diet is great. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, and just type in weight loss into the search bar, we've done several shows on that, and it'll give you lots of good ideas on what to do.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, awesome. I look forward to that. And thank you for everything you do. When I turn on the radio and I hear you, it picks me right up. I'm very grateful that you are who you are and that you're here for people to listen to and learn from.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. If you want to send an email to our boss here at WSB, I'm sure Pete Spriggs wouldn't mind hearing that either. So Ahmad's laughing in there.
I can hear that.
Thanks, Mary. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Bye. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Julia's our screener today. G, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Esposito. How you doing today, sir?
I'm very, very well.
Okay, quick question. Not going to take a lot of your time. 47 going on 48. Usually behind the desk on the phone selling something, but for the last 8-9 months, I've actually been in the furniture moving industry. And what I'm noticing is, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm on the veggie diet for the last year.
Okay.
And my finger joints are getting tight. It's like sore and tight. And I did some research on rheumatoid, even though I don't think I have that.
Sure.
But my question is, do I need to, because I don't drink milk.
Right, good.
Do I need to supplement with anything to improve that situation?
No. Milk is not good for bones. If you look at all the studies that are out on the true studies, the long-term studies on milk, like the nurses study, for example, which has been ongoing for decades, the more dairy products you consume, the higher the rate of osteoporosis. So you would think differently.
So I got to cut the cheese.
The cheese is horrible. Cheese is so inflammatory. And what happens is when you have inflammation, the body produces white blood cells. And these white blood cells are not site-specific. What that means is they attack the whole body. And they can attack all the joints, but the weakest, most freely movable joints in the body are where? Your fingers. So that's where you're going to start to see. Man. No. All right, here's my challenge to you. No cheese for 2 weeks. Zero cheese. Not even a little.
I can do it.
2 weeks. And call me back in 2 weeks and you tell me how much better the fingers are feeling. I think you'll be amazed.
I'm going to do that. Last question real quick. Turmeric. I started to implement that and black pepper in my diet.
Excellent.
Lost a lot of weight.
Good.
But it's making me hungry.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, like starving.
Yeah.
The turmeric does.
Yes. So what you're doing is you're being counterproductive because you're eating the cheese causing inflammation, then you're taking the turmeric to fight the inflammation. If you stop the inflammation, you won't need the turmeric. What I tell people, and I've done many shows on weight loss, and I used to be heavy when I was a kid, so I totally get what you're going through. Super Green's an essential source. You hear me talk about that. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for food, you're hungry for nutrition. And when you give your body high-quality nutrition, you're not as hungry. And so one of the tricks I do, I start every day out with Super Greens and Essential Source, a scoop of each. I shake it up with coconut milk or almond milk and drink it. And I'm fine until about 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. in the morning, and then I may have a couple of handfuls of nuts, and then I can have a salad for lunch, and then I just have dinner, depends. So it's amazing. When you start giving the body the nutrients that it needs, it acts as an anti-inflammatory. It helps with the hunger. Stuff's pretty amazing. So you might want to try that.
Yeah, I did do a probiotic for about 6 months, and I wasn't hungry at all. I guess when I stopped doing that and went back to my omelets with cheese.
Oh, gee. If you were here, I'd slap your wrist. So, take the Super Greens, the essential source. We have a probiotic on the website as well, drjoe.com. And just do it, and you'll be thrilled. And in 2 weeks, call me back and tell me how amazing it is, okay?
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. That number, by the way, rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air, because patients are constantly coming to us and saying, how do I make an appointment? 844-44-DR-JOE, or the website. You want to order supplements, listen to podcasts, drjoe.com. Also, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, because we live stream a lot of our shows. You can see my pretty face. And I got to go to break. I hear Ahmad playing music. That means I got to go to break. So if you have any questions, 844-44-DR-JOE. We're talking about heart disease and strange causes of heart disease. So we're going to talk about things. We talked about noise. We're going to talk about sleeping disorders, breathing disorders. And if you take proton pump inhibitors or acid reflux medication, you skyrocket your risk of heart disease. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. The number here at the studio, 844-44-DR-JOE. We'll be right back. Okay, Banky.
I hope y'all got some questions.
Yeah, I got one here. So, Dr. Joe, what supplement do you recommend for bags under your eyes?
Adrenal support.
Adrenal support, I'm starting to take it, and I can already notice a difference.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and you're young.
I've always had dark circles under my eyes, but I've always had lower back pain.
And that's the nerve supply to the
adrenal
glands. See how much she's learned? Everyone learns from this show, even the folks that... And it's so fun, because I have people like Garrett's worked for a long time, Sierra's worked for a long time, and staff members and people I've listened to the show for years, friends, family. And I say, I've been listening to you for 10 years on the show, on the radio. Every time I hear a show, I learn something new. Several new things. So adrenal support, absolutely. Bags under the eyes, an inflammatory reaction. The adrenal glands produce adrenaline for energy. They produce prostaglandins, which control inflammation, and they control your hormones. So by taking the adrenal support, Dr. Joe's adrenal support, it helps with the inflammation, which helps with the bags under the eyes. So it's adrenal support. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Any other questions there, social media folks?
What causes the white of the eye to get red streaks of veins constantly?
It could be a circulatory issue, and many times bioflavonoids, if you don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, you don't get the bioflavonoids, and bioflavonoids strengthen your blood vessels. So things like Super Greens, an essential source, loaded with bioflavonoids. Fruits and vegetables, loaded with bioflavonoids. And you might want to try nitric oxide as well, Dr. Joe's nitric oxide, which increases circulation throughout the body. So I would try the Super Greens, the essential source, and the nitric oxide and see if that helps.
And can a decaying wisdom tooth affect the heart or even cause swollen feet?
God, yes. The same membrane that covers your gums covers your heart. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to cover that on the air. Remind me, okay, to bring that up on the air. Itch here. Remind me to bring that up on the air, because that's really important, because any type of dental issues can affect the heart. And that's why if you have a heart condition, you have to go on antibiotics usually in case you have they get a dental exam and go on antibiotics before they do any surgery on you. So you got to make sure, yes. And if it's an infected tooth, you probably want to get it taken care of by being pulled. Now, when you pull it, I don't recommend root canals. I'm not a big fan. I would recommend a bridge instead. I have a root canal. It aggravates me every single day, has for decades. It's not worth taking out at this point. So I have to be careful with it. I do oil pulling. I take coconut oil and swish it around in my mouth about 10 minutes, a couple of times a week when it acts up, and that'll help that. But if it's a rotten tooth, it's going to affect every part of your body. You have a low-grade infection, and that's real bad. So.
If buying non-organic vegetables, does cooking them kill off the pesticides?
No. No, it doesn't. But non-organic vegetables is still a gazillion times better than meats or dairy products. So I don't eat everything organic. I wish I did, but like if I go out to a salad bar or something like that, I was at the party yesterday. So we didn't. Not everything's organic. When I'm home, everything's organic. But if I'm out, it just is what it is. So.
Someone asked, what is the supplement for adrenal support? Are they asking?
It's called Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support, and it's on the website. So there you go.
And going off of the adrenal support, Do you need to take it on an empty stomach, and what is the best time of day to take it?
I take it in the morning for 2 reasons. Number one, it helps my energy get me going, and number two, I forget otherwise. So I take it in the morning. But if you're going to take it, I recommend a couple of times a day to start, like for the first 2 months or so. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner would be great. Now, if you can't sleep, I'd cut out the dinner one and just go to breakfast and lunch. Okay.
How do you feel about meatless meats? Are they healthy to eat on a plant-based diet?
They're not healthy. Okay, they're processed. Anything processed. You want to get as close to nature as possible, as close to the way the plant was grown. So the closer to nature, the better. The processed meats, it's way, way better than the real meats, of course. But I'll eat them periodically. But it's not something I like to eat a lot of because when I eat them, I just don't feel as good as I do when I'm eating a plant-based diet. So they're okay, but not great.
Let's see. Do you need to take? You're stealing my questions over here.
You were over there not paying attention.
That's right.
I'm paying attention. I jump in
Fight,
at
fight,
the
fight,
perfect
fight, fight,
moment.
fight.
For you then.
You're reading ahead.
Come on, Lewis.
I had something else.
Hide behind the counter. Come on.
I had something I was wondering about today personally.
Sure.
I mean, you probably covered it before. When it comes to taking like Tylenol for pain,
Uh-huh.
are you not a fan of that?
If you have to take it, like if I have a blazing headache, I have an old skull injury, and every now and then it acts up, and I'll take some acetaminophen.
Is that what's wrong with you?
We're on camera, else I'd give you a special gesture there.
Number one.
Yeah, number one, yeah. So
Double freedom rockets.
that's right. There you go. Yes. So acetaminophen, I'll take it periodically. But I don't want to be in pain either because pain causes an inflammatory reaction, which causes the cortisol release. But you always want to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms.
Sure.
So chiropractic usually treats everything. In fact, if I have a headache on a weekend, that's the only time I'll ever do it. If it's during the week, I grab one of my doctors, they adjust me, and I'm fine. So,
Okay.
Number one treatment for pain is chiropractic. I mean, it's head and shoulders above everything. So come see us. Get out of pain. Stop suffering. Mr. G,
What did you eat today?
what do you eat today? That's always his backup question, isn't it? Super Greens an essential source to start. Then I had some hummus with sugar peas as my dipping thing. What else did I have today?
Broccoli, you said earlier.
I had broccoli. That's right. I roasted up some broccoli. That's right. Because I felt fat today. I felt that after eating that guacamole. And again, most people eat guacamole feel great. I just feel bloated when I eat it. And it's okay. It just wasn't something I should have done there.
I've been eating avocados after work.
Uh-huh.
Just by right out of the shell.
Right out of shell. You don't have to do anything with them. Yeah, it's great. Mm-hmm. But I just ate a lot yesterday. I had like 2 bowls of it. So probably a little much there.
Really good guacamole.
It was really good guacamole. This caterer is just amazing the work they did. So had that. Of course, Super Greens an essential source. Talked about that. Had a big glass of lemonade today. Water, organic lemon juice, and stevia. Took my supplements, which I did as well. Had 3 cups of tea today. A ginger probiotic tea. I just bought it, tried it. It's okay. Nothing great, but it was all right.
Is it safe to get teeth whitening at dentistry?
No.
With the steals.
You what? Oh, you ain't paying attention. No, because it eats away at it dissolves some of the layers of protein. And did I do a show? Did I cover that somewhere recently? Teeth whitening.
Sure.
I read so much. I know.
We didn't do a show directly on teeth whitening, but you did talk about how you whiten your teeth.
Okay, yeah. So
like
you
a
just got.
natural way.
Okay, we have time. No, it's not a good idea. It can cause teeth damage. So, and it usually comes back anyway. The only way you're going to do it is to put veneers on it. You don't want veneers. You should see what they're doing. Garrett's here fighting over there for questions. So. Send more questions so they stop fighting.
We are working on a team.
Here we go.
Doctor's office. Get stronger and healthier with Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. We're talking today about heart disease and surprising causes of heart disease or things that can aggravate heart disease. A lot of people have heart disease. I know I've been affected by it. I had my father passed away from heart disease, and it was a good question because somebody asked on the live stream here about infections. If you have a rotten tooth, can that affect the heart? And the answer is a resounding yes. Because the same membrane that covers your gums also covers your heart. So if you get an infection in your tooth, it can travel through that membrane and adversely affect the heart. So that's why people with heart conditions go to the dentist on a regular basis to prevent infections. And if they ever need a procedure being done on the heart, they usually put them on antibiotics, which I'm not a big fan of, but I totally understand why, because you can't have an infection in the gums going down to the heart and compromising the heart. So, yeah, teeth issues can have a big effect on the heart as well. And I have a root canal. I wish I'd never gotten it, and it aggravates me. But, I've spoken to several dentists, and they're like, it's taking it out is a major, major process. So if you had to have a tooth pulled and it was rotten, I would recommend getting a bridge to go across that area. I understand it's a little bit of a hassle. I don't have one. But when you start drilling screws up into the gums and into the jaw, that really does concern me. So, yeah, the heart's kind of important. You got to be careful with it. So I'm going to talk about other things you got to be aware of when it comes to the heart. If you have any healthcare questions, lines are open. 844-44-Dr. Joe. 844-44-DRJOE. Think of those health questions. You never knew who to ask. Now you have somebody to ask. So call me and let me know. 844-44-Dr. Joe. And if you're a good caller, Julie will get you on the air with me, and we'll go from there. So, sleep disorders and breathing problems can clog your arteries. Sleep disorders not only interfere with your sleep, but also put us at risk for more serious health conditions. Despite the prevalence of sleep disorders, sleep habits and sleep-related symptoms are frequently overlooked by clinicians. And I see this every day in my practice. And I look at people, and people say, well, because people come to us differently than most doctors. They'll, if they go to a pain doctor, say, hey, doc, I'm in pain, or, I whatever it is. Chiropractors, I've got neck pain, back pain. In our office, though, because of the shows and because of our background, I'm board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management. I'm double board certified in nutrition, BS in nutrition, retired dietitian, award-winning author. And so people come to us with a lot of cool questions. And it's kind of fun because when doctors come with us, and a lot of times we'll have doctors come in our office and do rounds with us, medical doctors, chiropractors, students, and they're like, wow, we never get those questions in our office. We've never heard these things. Well, that's because we do a wide variety of getting the body well, not just a thing. We want to get the whole body well. And so people come to us a lot of times with sleep disorders. So sleep disorder breathing is a branch of sleep disorders that ranges from snoring to more serious sleep apnea. How many people have sleep apnea? Raise your hands. A lot of you do. How many people snore? Raise your hands. How many people wish their spouse didn't snore? Yeah. Snoring is a symptom. It's telling you that something wrong. It's just like pain. It's just like digestive issues. Something's wrong. And that's something you really want to look into because it's telling us that you may not be getting the proper air. So what happens is, with the sleep disorders, you have your uvula in the back of your mouth and your soft palate, and then you have your airwaves going down into your lungs. And if you're snoring, it could be that you may have a pinched nerve in the neck that goes into the throat. I've had countless patients solve their snoring issue by getting chiropractic care. And if there's something going on, we got to open up those airwaves. Because when a sleeper attempts to force air through the obstructive respiratory airway, like a kind of a broken muffler, the air is kind of rushing around it, it can cause problems. Now, you've heard me talk many times about a hiatal hernia. You have a sheet of muscle called your diaphragm, and your stomach sits below your diaphragm. And if the stomach pushes up into the diaphragm, you might have acid reflux or heartburn, burping, gas, bloating. One of the symptoms is acid can irritate your esophagus and your windpipe, and that can cause your body to having trouble getting air down. It actually cause an inflammatory reaction. But if the stomach pushes up against the diaphragm and you're standing up, no big deal. Gravity is pulling it down, and your diaphragm is able to breathe. You won't notice it. Well, it is a big deal. You just won't notice it. When you lay down, you no longer have gravity pulling the stomach down. So when you lay down, the stomach pushes up against the diaphragm. The diaphragm can't drop down to suck air into the lungs. And now we have things like sleep apnea. People sometimes stop breathing. How many people you haven't seen somebody sleep and they stop breathing, you're all nervous, and then they start breathing again? A lot of times that's due to the stomach pushing up against the diaphragm. And we need to pull the stomach back down away from the diaphragm. It's really important. Sleep apnea has been shown to be a significant risk factor in cardiovascular disease. It's been associated with hypertension, coronary artery disease, cerebrovascular disease, blood supply to the brain. Recent study shows that sleep apnea may predispose people to arteriosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries. So if you have sleep issues, folks, something's wrong. It could be that you're overweight and your belly is not allowing the diaphragm to drop down because when you lay down, the fat's pushing up against it. So then you need to come see us so we can get you cleaned out, get the toxins out of the system, get that weight off you. We have a program that we do at the office, and it's a 21-day cleanse. It's a doctor-supervised weight loss program. For 21 days, we supervise you. We get you on supplements, powders. You eat. We get you on food as well. And after 21 days, we can kind of reset your brain so you don't have those crazy cravings anymore. And then we can go into phase 2, which is getting on a lifestyle. Folks, if you have any healthcare questions, lines are open, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. And a lot of folks come to us and say, Doc, I want to lose weight. And people try diets. How many people have tried diets? It doesn't work. Almost everyone. because diets don't work by definition. It's a lifestyle change that works. My secret, I used to be overweight. My secret is get the bad food out of the house. If you don't get the bad food out of the house, chances are you're going to eat it. Like today, I was home for a good portion of the day, and what am I going to eat? Oh, I had some string beans too. Garrett asked me earlier, what did I eat? Okay, I had some string beans. I put some olive oil on it, some salt and pepper. Spectacular. So have the good food in the house, so when you are hungry, you say, okay, what am I going to have? I'm just going to have good foods.
That was mine and Garrett's best thing we ever did is when we were trying to make the transition to vegan, the best thing that we could do is just not even go to that side of the store, not look at it, not buy it, because if it's around you, you're going to want to eat it. And if you just don't even have it there, you don't have an option but to eat vegetables.
Sierra's right. That's exactly right. Garrett?
Yeah, we went grocery shopping today, one of the new stores here, and what's the one thing that we demolished when we got home?
Snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
We got one bag of chips, like a small bag of chips, and it's the only thing that we dove into when we got home.
Yep, you wolfed it down. Why? Because it was there. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't have eaten it. So it's very important to lose weight is get the bad food out of the house. And I don't know how you guys think, but my thought is, well, if I have something bad in the house and then I eat it, then it won't be in the house anymore. Brilliant thinking, right? And we all think the same way. Because sugar stimulates the dopamine receptor sites in the brain. It stimulates what's called the nucleus accumbens. And the nucleus accumbens and the other dopamine sites fire off dopamine and you get high. And it's really hard to stop. And that's why if you're going to eat something, it can't be in the house. If you're going to buy a bag of chips, it's got to be a small bag of chips. It's got to be out of the house. And then when it's done, it's done. Because here's the thing. If you're going to eat a small bag of chips, when it's done, it's done. If you're going to buy a big bag of chips, same thing. You're going to finish them. And this is the cool thing. Once you get on a proper diet, once you start eating the right foods, you're not going to need that anymore. Those cravings go away. And every now and then you want to break down. Last night, I went to a party, and then I went down into an area of Atlanta. It's called Little Five Points, and there's a health food store down there, and I love carrot cake. So it was a vegan carrot cake, and I had one piece, and I bought it, and I ate it, and it wasn't very sweet, and it was actually almost too much. I shouldn't have eaten all that anyway, but it was great. But the rule is they can't have it in the house, because if it's in the house, you're going to have problems, and you're going to want to eat it. So got to be careful with that. Folks, got to go to a break. If you have any healthcare questions, give me a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Lines are open. Julia's our screener today. Coming up in the next segment, actually, at the top of the hour, we're going to do a new segment called, it's not a new segment, Head to Toe with Dr. Joe. And what we do is we do a segment, we cover different parts of the body and how they work. This week, we're going to talk about the eyes. I'm going to tell you how I was diagnosed with a condition I was supposed to go blind with, and now my eyes are actually better. Not the same, not worse, but actually better. Questions, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Our website, drjoe.com. We'll be right back.
Most people, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr.Joe to make an appointment today because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
There we go.
I had my brother take me places. He was always like, you have to take it early.
Okay, post-concussion, 2 years, suffering with insomnia.
Oh, yeah.
Can you recommend a mattress?
It's probably not the mattress. It's probably your body. So whenever there's a concussion, depends how the concussion occurred. You can hit the head. If you hit the head, the brain keeps traveling and slams into the front of the skull. If you get hit in a car accident, for example, your head snaps backwards and your brain slams into the front of the skull. Then your head snaps forward. The brain slams at the back of the skull. That's called a contra coup injury. So depending on the form of the trauma, the mechanism of trauma, always the bones in the neck move out of place. They have to. When the bones move out of place, they pinch the nerve and blood supply going up into the brain. So oftentimes, you need to get that fixed. That allows the nerve and blood supply to get up into the brain. Then if there is a contusion in the brain has this amazing ability called plasticity. The brain can act as like plastic. It can remodel itself. So what we want to do then is find out what we need to do to stimulate the brain to activate plasticity so the brain can rewire itself. And so we check the cerebellum, we check the cerebrum, and so the mattress would be a good idea. However, no matter what the mattress is, if you have an injury, you got to get that fixed. So come see us first and let's see what we need. You might not need a new mattress.
Believing in a lot of people, but they're not asking some questions on here.
Okay.
Let's see. What do you recommend for Hashimoto's, and what is type 1.5 diabetes?
1.5 diabetes?
Yeah, like in between one.
In between and 1 and 2. Well, if you have type 2 is when the body is producing plenty of insulin, but the cells are not utilizing it. It's called insulin resistance, and we have several shows we've done on insulin resistance on the website. Type 1 is when the pancreas isn't producing insulin. Okay? So 1.5, I guess the pancreas is just getting weaker and weaker, and it's going to go to the point where it's not producing insulin. I'm not sure about that. I've never heard that. Pre-diabetes? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard that phrase, 1.5, and I don't know everything, but so if you diabetes, go to the website, drjoe.com. We've done many, many shows on diabetes, so you can tune into that. And what was the first part of that question again? Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's, you got to get on a detoxifying diet. You got to get a water filter, because chlorine and fluorine act as haloid. They are haloids, and they can clog up your thyroid gland, and it can prevent you from absorbing iodine. You got to get on things like Supergreens, an essential source, to get the iodine into the system. And you have to go on a system that's going to stabilize your immune system. A diet's going to stabilize your immune system. Because what's happening is the body's attacking itself. It's an autoimmune condition. So I think we've done shows on immunity. Go to the website and look that up on immunity and autoimmunity. But you got to cut out certain things. Okay. You got to cut out, absolutely, starting today, forever, wheat and dairy products, because those two are the most hyperallergenic foods there are. So no wheat, no dairy products ever. Now you can do dairy substitutes, that's fine, but no wheat, no barley, no rye. Those are the things that have gluten that cause an immune reaction. And dairy, of course, the #1 food allergen. Got to go to a more plant-based diet. And if you do all these things, it should work. And it's going to help the immune system tremendously as well. Dr. Joe's Supergreens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, great source of iodine. Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster, that'll help stabilize the immune system as well. That's on the website. Don't talk about that much, but it's a great, it's a supplement that has echinacea, paudiarco, olive leaf extract, and suma root, helps stabilize the immune system. So it's a lifestyle and a process, and then chiropractic care, the fourth cervical nerve, that's the nerve supply to the thyroid. So yeah, there's a whole protocol you can go into, and I think you should, because if you don't, Hashimoto's, it becomes hyperactive, then it crashes, it becomes hypoactive, and then you have some real serious problems as well. So get it fixed.
All right, I got a long one here. And by the way, yes, I'm working on the sound. I believe it's recorded at this point.
Okay.
After the MMR vaccine, my son has breathing issues and swollen glands in the neck at the age of 4. They said swollen adenoids, but I disagree with any surgery. What do you suggest?
Never take out the adenoids if you don't have to. They're one of the 5 major immune organs in the body. You don't want to waste an immune organ. I've seen this constantly, and it's a big concern of mine. I know I have a very strong opinion on that. Bring him in to come see us. Let's get the immune system strong. Let's get the nervous system strong, and let's see if we can get him over this hump here. Get the body to get out of this reaction that it's having. So.
I didn't know what the adenoids were for.
Okay.
I got mine taken out without my will.
I did too.
Looking at your refrigerator. Learn what you should eat and what not to eat to get healthy. Dr. Joe.
There to lose weight. Folks, if you call in, please hang on. I know a couple of you called in. I'm going to get to you, I promise, but I've got to cover other information as well. So if you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-Dr. Joe. So let's take a quick call here. Source because raw food has something in it called enzymes. And enzymes are so important for the body to be healthy. And most of us don't have enzymes in our diet. So if you need enzymes, you got to get it from raw food. So, have a salad every day, have an avocado. I was talking to Lewis, one of my interns here today, and he said he eats an avocado now at night. An avocado has enzymes in it. So something raw at every meal is really important. And the closer it is to nature, the better. So, if you're going to have, I don't know, an eggplant, that's one thing. But you make eggplant parmesan, it's really far away from how nature prepared it. So that'd be the way to go. But if you go to the website, drjoe.com, just type in the search bar, so what can I eat? We have a whole hour lecture for you. Okay? Okay? Oh, he's gone. Okay, we lost him there. Folks, if you have any healthcare questions, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Julia's our screener. We have Garrett and Sierra here. We have Lewis here. We're working on social media. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, because we send out a lot of live streams. Last week we did a pop-up show. My boss called me in on Thursday and said, hey, can you cover for Friday? I said, absolutely. So I covered for Mark Aram on Friday for an hour, and we live stream a lot of those shows too. So if you're following us on those things, you'll be hip and cool and find out what's going on, because a lot of times we have special lectures that we do. I did a lecture the other day at a CBD convention. I was talking about the neurophysiology of CBD oil, how it works. And so a lot of these things pop up, and you won't know about it unless you know it, you're following us. And then also, you can send us your email address, and we'll put you on our email list, because we have a lot of good information that we send out periodic. Sometimes we have sales on supplements that Garrett doesn't tell me about and sneaks it in there on me. But if you have any questions now, the number is 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE, and we'll get you on the air if you have a good question for us. So we're talking about things that can cause heart disease that may be surprising to you. And if you have a predisposition to heart disease, or if you have heart disease, things you got to be careful with. How about too much sleep? Too much sleep can actually be an issue. Researchers discovered death and diseases of the heart or blood vessels in the brain are more likely to affect people who had more than 8 hours of sleep a day compared to people who slept around 6 to 8. So you're one of these people that sleeps all day? There's a problem. One of the issues could be that your adrenal glands are not working as well as they should. Now, the adrenal glands are two little glands. They sit on top of your kidneys, and if you cut them open, I've dissected them out, they have 3 layers to them. One layer produces adrenaline, which gives you energy. One layer produces prostaglandins, which helps control inflammation, and one layer controls your hormones. One of the things we do as we get older, our organs don't work as well, especially our reproductive organs. So for men, testosterone can drop. For women, estrogen. And again, we all have all these hormones, estrogen, testosterone. But as our hormones start to get a little wacky as we get older, because the ovaries and testicles aren't working like they used to, what we need to do maybe is supplement the body. And the adrenals are kind of like a backup plan. The body's pretty cool. It usually has a backup plan. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, only 1 heart, which really surprises me. I'm surprised we don't have 2 hearts. But with hormone production, you want to get the adrenal glands working. So certain things you can do is like Dr. Joe's adrenal support. We have a hormone, we're going to have male and female hormones coming out real soon. We just got to get the labels printed up and get them approved. But the hormone levels in the body are really important as well. And the adrenal glands are important to get the hormones working. And so if you're tired all the time, you have bags under your eyes, you might want to consider Dr. Joe's adrenal support. And also, I take nitric oxide. Dr. Joe's nitric oxide opens up the blood vessels and allows circulation to get to your body, especially the brain. And I got to be careful with Dr. Joe's nitric oxide. I can't take it at night. I can't go to sleep. I have to take it in the morning. If you have any healthcare questions, 844-44-Dr.Joe, and we'll get you on the air if you have some good ones there. So we're talking today about things that can cause heart problems aside from the typical stuff. And we're talking about sleep. Participants who slept a total of 8 to 9 hours a day had a 5% greater risk of suffering such as incident as those who slept 6 to 8. Excuse me. So sleeping too much can cause an issue. And if you're sleeping 6 to 8 hours, that seems to be the Goldilocks zone, which is great. 70% higher risk for people who sleep between 9 and 10 hours a day of having an incident, while those sleeping more than 10 hours had a 41% increased risk of cardiovascular disease and death. Pretty serious stuff there. So you want to sleep, but not too much. If you're sleeping too much, once again, let's find out why. And a lot of people will take coffee. And the way coffee works is coffee has caffeine, and caffeine goes into the brain, and it blocks up something called your adenosine receptor site. Now, what the heck is that? You have a chemical in your brain called adenosine, and it's released, and it gets into the brain, and it makes you get tired. So then you go to sleep. Caffeine blocks up the adenosine receptor site, so you don't absorb the caffeine, and so you stay awake. But then you need more caffeine because you produce more adenosine receptor sites. I hear music playing. I got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. My website, drjoe.com. Over 1,000 hours of podcast there. If you want to make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to be your doctors. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever. If the car was damaged, you were damaged, you need to see us as quickly as possible. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. We're going to be right back.
Are you experiencing hot flashes or fatigue? Do you
Okay.
The static is sticking around.
It's still there?
Yeah.
Huh.
Boy, ever since we fixed it, it got worse.
Right.
Go back to the old days. All right. Any questions, or can you even hear us?
Let me hear the static. They can hear
Oh,
us.
they can hear us.
They just can't hear the caller audio.
I can't get caller audio. Okay. All right. Any questions? I'm going to do my liners today. So.
I have IIH, and they say no vitamin A. What veggies can I eat?
IIH. I don't know what that is. Sorry, folks. There's a lot of letters out there. So if you would send in what that is, let me know. Okay. So with vitamin A, you could probably do beta carotene, and beta carotene is in vegetables. Vitamin A is a supplement. So. Okay.
My submandibular lymph nodes, was that right? Submandibular.
She got the words right. She gets a bell.
Have been swollen for over a year. Docs are just keeping an eye on it, but it won't go down. What can I do besides go plant-based?
Plant-based, super green, central source, Dr. Joe's Wellness Booster. Vitamin D, we're going to talk about a whole show on vitamin D next week. You got to get that vitamin D level up. You want to be around 80. They say like 20 to 30 is normal. You want to get about 60 to 80. That's the ideal place you want to be. So, and then of course chiropractic care is going to help the immune system. If you have a pinched nerve in the neck going to the submandibular lymph glands, was it? Parotid glands? Lymph glands, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So chiropractic care can help that, hopefully, with the immune system. Got to cut out the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Those are the things that blow out your immune system. So yeah, there's a whole protocol you can do. Go to our website, listen to the shows on immunity. Okay?
When I stop breathing, I'm sorry. When I lay on my back, I stop breathing, but never an issue if I lay on my side.
Okay. Is that a question or statement?
I'm guessing like a question, like why do they stop breathing when they lay on their back?
Stop breathing, right?
Yes.
Because the diaphragm is probably the stomach is pushing up against the diaphragm. When you move that way, the stomach slides down a little bit. So I'm guessing that's why. You may have a pinched nerve too. The fourth cervical nerve is the phrenic nerve, and that controls the diaphragm. The seventh cervical nerve and the first thoracic nerve controls the bronchial tubes in the lungs. So it could be any one of those. So it's really, I don't know. I'd have to check that one out and see. So come see us. We'll check it out.
Is it better to sleep on your back as opposed to your
Yes, better to sleep on your back. I tried sleeping on my back, and I always roll up on my stomach, and I don't know. I don't know what goes on in my nights. I have to put a camera in one day and see. All sorts of crazy things go on in my room at night. So.
Okay. My mom has a heart arrhythmia. She got cancer in 2017, and after chemotherapy and radiation, she had 2 strokes 6 months apart. Now we received the bad news that the cancer is back. She's on 2 chemo pills, and her heart is acting up. The medicine is causing blood pressure as high as 170 over 108. Is there anything we can do? She's not eating and losing a lot of weight.
I would check the stomach for hiatal hernia. That's the first thing I would check physically, because if the stomach is up against the diaphragm, that can cause arrhythmias. Remind me to talk about that. Okay. If you remember, Lewis, remember to talk about that when I go back on the air about the arrhythmias in the heart and the stomach. So let's see what we can do about that. Really, there's a lot going on there. You might want to bring her in to let us take a look at her. But super green's an essential source, absolutely. Digestive enzymes, as you get older, the enzyme levels drop. Digestive enzymes are really important for her as well. Raw foods are important for that. So that's probably more than I could just throw out an answer for that one, but that's a quick answer for it. We're going to have to do liners in just a second here. So.
Somebody remind you about this next coming segment to talk about the
Yeah,
arrhythmias?
yeah, just write it down for me. Yeah, okay. Can you catch pneumonia? I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. This week we're talking about heart disease, surprising causes or complicating factors of heart disease, and the things you need to know about. Dr. Joe Esposito here. This week on our show, we'll be talking about heart disease, surprising things that can aggravate heart disease or even cause heart disease, and the things you need to know to fix it. Hey, we're talking about surprising causes of heart disease and what you need to do about it this week on the Dr. Joe Esposito Show. One take. Bam. Such professionals. What else you got? What other questions we got for us?
Are you including eggs and avoiding dairy?
Okay, I have never seen a cow lay an egg. Come on, that was funny. I got one laugh. What's wrong, Sierra? Huh? She's all serious.
I'm into the dad jokes.
Yeah, I know. Can't be immune to dad jokes, no! Yes, when I talk about animal products, eggs are animal products. What's my joke?
I don't know. What is your joke?
I've never seen a cow plant, but I have seen an eggplant. There you go. I got her to laugh. Yes.
Jeez.
I know, that wasn't laughing with me. That was disgust is what that was. Yes. So.
Any way to participate in the 21-day program if you live out of state?
Absolutely. If you live out of state, folks, just call the office, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Kayla's in charge of that department, but you can talk to anybody, and we can absolutely do it. Yes, we can do phone consults anywhere in the world, and we do all the time. Absolutely.
Instagram's kind of quiet.
Instagram.
See you watching.
Idiopathic intracranial hypertension is IAH.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. Yes, often idiopathic means we don't know what caused it. Intracranial means it's pressure in the brain. I'm going to say that we probably do know what causes it. The skull bones, you have multiple skull bones, and they fit together. And every time you breathe, they expand and contract. So what's happening is, in every case I've ever seen of this, the skull has been jammed. Car accidents, fall, hitting the head. The skull bones jam, and the skull bones aren't moving back and forth, and so the pressure can build up inside the brain. So again, I don't know if that's the cause, but that's what I've seen as the cause many times in the past. And several of my doctors are trained in cranial manipulation. We can actually adjust the skull and see if we can bring down that pressure. So I don't know if that's your cause, but it usually is a cause, and so you might want to come see us for that. Okay, what else?
But they wanted to know, they said that they're not allowed to eat vitamin A.
Oh, right,
The doctor
okay.
said, and so what can they eat?
Well, you got to find out if it's vitamin A or beta carotene, because beta carotene converts into vitamin A. And this is where a lot of doctors don't understand it. Vitamin A is toxic in large amounts. Beta carotene is not. And so if it's the vitamin A and not the beta carotene issue, then you could eat all the fruits and vegetables you want. But I don't know what the doctor's talking about. If it's vitamin A or beta carotene, I'd ask him that question and then let me know.
I think that is all that we've got for now.
Yeah.
Everybody quiet.
Someone laughed at the dad joke earlier.
Yay! Whoever laughed, cool. Sierra.
I guess your humor is just above my level.
That's what it is. This is, sophisticated humor. Yes.
All right, so it seems like what's happened is that, yes, they gave us our own line, but they don't know that this device is on that line, so
Okay.
we're being throttled for using too much of their bandwidth.
Oh, okay.
Regardless of it being a hard line.
Got it. Okay. So that's a Rick question.
That's what's stopping the
So,
audio?
I gotta bring this laptop in on Tuesday when we come
Okay.
for the recording and have them whitelist this.
Got it.
So they don't.
That's stopping the audio?
Yeah, the audio is like that. Is like a bad connection. Like if you have a phone call, plug in during really bad reception.
Right. Okay. Rick will fix it. He probably didn't. Never
Okay,
asked.
so Facebook, bear with
He probably
us.
didn't realize how much we needed.
We know that the audio is bad. There is not much that we can do right now, so just try to bear with us. And you can hop over to Instagram if you can't deal with the bad audio.
Yes, Instagram is running fine.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm WSB meteorologist.
Yes, it is questions. You can still ask questions.
Simple forecast tonight. A few leftover clouds. Low.
All right, coming back soon.
Monday, mostly sunny, high 85, low 62. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 87, low
Julia's making funny
68.
faces in there. That's
And Wednesday, mostly to
some
partly
screener
sunny,
she is.
high
Yo,
87,
yeah.
low 65.
Pay attention to your work.
Yeah. She's paying attention.
Dr. Joe Esposito. Brought to you on WSB by Virtual Imaging.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Hey, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there. If you stayed with us, thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, welcome. Glad you could be here. As always, I know everybody's busy, and I do appreciate you taking time out of your day. Really important stuff we're talking about today, which is every day. We're talking about things that can aggravate heart disease or cause heart disease. And we talked about loud noises and cortisol levels, and we talked about stress. Now we're talking about sleep issues and breathing issues and sleep apnea. And if you sleep too much, it can actually increase your risk of heart disease. 17% increased risk of people who sleep 9 to 10 hours a day. And if you sleep more than 10 hours a day, 41% increased risk of heart disease, cardiovascular disease. That's some pretty serious stuff. Before the break, we talked about why. Why are we doing that? And one of the reasons is that we may have an adrenal problem, we may have a thyroid problem, we got to get in there and fix it. But now we do a regular segment on the show. It's called Head to Toe with Dr. Joe. And today we're going to talk about the eyes. And I gave you a tease earlier about how I was diagnosed with a condition. I was told I could have gone blind from it. I have a condition called macular degeneration. Drusen is the type I have. And with Drusen, if you look at the back of the eye, you have these little dots on the back of the eye, and eventually if these dots start to connect to each other, you start to lose your vision. And the doctor looked at me, I guess it was about 8 years ago now, and he said, it is what it is, and you can try taking, they have something called zeaxanthin and lutein, which I talked about, by the way, years ago, and then finally the eye doctors caught on and went, oh, that's not really works. And now they actually have supplements you can buy for your eyes. And of course, I don't accept anything. I have to do my research. And it turns out that if you have a really high antioxidant diet, the body responds well. Now, what are antioxidants? They fight free radicals. Now, free radicals in your body are like Pac-Man. They eat through things, waka, 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 and they're eating through things. And if you take free antioxidants, they neutralize the free radicals from causing damage. And so I did the research on it. I looked at Drusen. I wanted to find out more about it. And I said, okay, what do we do? So kind of when Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Essential Source came into existence, and I started taking Super Greens and Essential Source every day, along with changing my diet even further, more plant-based, more raw foods. And about 2 years later, I went back into the eye doctor. He took a second picture, put the two pictures next to each other of my eyes, and he physically started to shake. And he looked at me, and he looked at the picture, he looked at me, and I said, oh my gosh, what's wrong? I have a brain tumor, something's horrible. And so he looked at me, and he said, it looks like your eyes are getting better. He says, that can't be. Macular degeneration never gets better. It stays the same, it gets worse. And I said, well, look at the pictures. Pictures don't lie. He goes, no, the pictures don't lie. This is incredible. So every year or two, I go back and he takes another picture. And if you go to my website, drjoe.com, under Dr. Joe's blog, I think it might be the first article, we have the pictures of my eyes. And look at the little white spots on the back of my eyes and how they're getting better as time's going on. And then most recently, about a year or two ago, I went and had this new doctor in, Dr. Z, and I sat down with her, and she was young, and she was vibrant and brilliant, and I just loved talking to her. And she looks at my eyes, and I didn't say anything to her. And she looks at 3 or 4 pictures of my eyes, and she's looking at them, she's looking at the dates, they must be wrong. And I said, something's wrong, right? She goes, I don't know, this is weird. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. And I told her what happened, and so it kind of eased her mind a little bit. And she said, this is unbelievable. We've never heard of this ever happening before. Can I submit your case to the Retina Society of America, whatever it was? And I said, absolutely. And so she submitted it. I never heard back from them. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little upset over that. Because now suddenly we have something that might help people that have this condition, macular degeneration, pretty serious stuff, and no one ever followed up on it. Shame on them. Because if I had something that can make my chiropractic care better, if I can treat patients better, I would want to know everything I could about it. And why isn't every person in the world with macular degeneration getting on a plant-based, high antioxidant diet, Super Greens, Essential Source, doing everything they could to save their eyes? And the answer is, I don't know. So shame on them. That's my ideas on that. But a lot of people report amazing results with chiropractic care, Super Greens, and Essential Source. And then I add nitric oxide to it. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels and increases circulation. So there's a lot of things you can do. Patients come to us every day, 7 days a week. Even on Sunday, people send messages through the website, drjoe.com. I try to answer them if I'm available. And if you have questions, by the way, you can call the studio right now, 844-44-Dr.Joe, and we can take your question on the air, or you can send it to the website, drjoe.com, and we'll see if we can get your questions answered. And every day people say, what can I do for blank? I was told there's nothing that can be done for blank. In most cases, that's not true. Some cases there are, but in most cases, if we get the nervous system working, from a chiropractic standpoint, unpinched nerves, a digestive system working, adjusting the stomach, getting on good food, super green, essential source, digestive enzymes, and then getting you on a good diet, the body is able to heal amazingly well in most cases. So nervous system, digestive system, and nutrition are the keys to getting body well. And I can tell my personal story about my eyes, and my pictures are right there on the website. Pictures don't lie. So this stuff really works amazingly. And so that's why we put together protocols specifically for you. Now, I know this show goes all over the world, so somebody sent a message in while we were on the air and said, you know, we talked about the 21-day cleanse to help the body kick in a weight loss program. It's a doctor-supervised weight loss program. And they said, can we do it if we're not in your area? I said, yes, absolutely. We can mail it anywhere we want to in the world. So just go to the website, drjoe.com. We have all the supplements there. You can make an appointment to come see us. Over 1,000 hours of podcasts, read the blogs. Really good source of information. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. It doesn't have to be about hearts. Now, somebody sent a message at the break about arrhythmias, and I want to go to that, but I want to get my callers first because I know these folks are holding. So if you have a question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Daryl, how can we make your day better? Hello, Daryl. Hello, Daryl. There we go. Yes. Well, no, fluid builds up in the lungs. That's what pneumonia is, and then bacteria, viruses can grow in the fluids, and that's where the problem is. So the key is you got to keep the immune system strong. You're not going to catch pneumonia necessarily, but if the immune system is weak, it can aggravate the whole situation. So when it comes to immune system, we've done many shows on that, drjoe.com. Go to my website. You can listen to over 1,000 hours of podcasts there. We've done that on immunity. But the keys here for her right now at this moment in time is you got to get her off all the mucus-producing foods. Number one, all dairy products. Ice cream, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, not a dairy product, but that can cause mucus as well. And then wheat, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, and sugars. Those are the things that cause so much of the inflammation. So if she has pneumonia, if you're sick in any disease and you're eating those foods, you're just throwing gas on the fire. So you got to be careful with that, okay? All right, thanks so much. Appreciate the call, Daryl. Folks, if you have a question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Got to go to break. How about that? So, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Next week, we're going to do a show on vitamin D. And we're going to talk about the immune system, which ties in beautifully with Daryl's question there. We're going to talk about how vitamin D affects the body in so many different ways. It's not just for building bones. And why most of you, statistically, are vitamin D deficient and what to do about it. It's really important. You don't want to take vitamin D2, which is a prescribed supplement. If you can avoid it, vitamin D3 works a lot better. We're going to go into all that next week. So, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Lines are lighting up. My website, drjoe.com. We'll be right back.
Okay, you take over because you know where you are.
Okay, Julia's dropping calls in there, so.
On purpose?
No, not on purpose. Yeah. If you would, tell Daryl to sit with her. I think she's getting a little confused when the lines light up.
DrJoe.com or call 844-44-Dr.Joe
Okay,
and make an
so
appointment for
they
you,
were
your friends, and
talking-
your family today.
Oh.
We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Clogs suck.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. Yeah, I know what she went to do. She went to put him on hold, and she hung up on him. So now they're lining him back up again. Okay, good. All right, yes.
Going back to...
Do you know when you're going to be on the podcast next week?
Yes.
You do.
You want to know?
Why don't everyone wants to know.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody leading out of the show, next chance they can catch you?
Write it down, Tuesday, 9:30.
Okay, so going back to the girl who has IIH, I think it is.
Yes.
They said that she has a high toxicity of vitamin A.
That would be a liver issue then. Okay? So again, beta carotene converts into vitamin A if you need vitamin A. If you don't have enough vitamin A, the beta carotene doesn't. If you have too much, the beta carotene doesn't convert. So that's if the body's healthy. So that's a question for your doctor then. I'm not sure about that because I would just clean out the liver then. I would get on milk thistle, super green, essential source, Dr. Joe's intestinal cleanser, get the bowels moving. That's the approach I would take. But, you know, if you're under medical care, always confer with your doctors to find out if they agree with me, but can't imagine they wouldn't. So.
Okay. Why is diabetes so complicated when it comes to food? You think something is healthy, but it's not. What would be a realistic diet plan?
Go to my website, drjoe.com. Follow the diet called So What Can You Eat? So what can I eat? We've done many, many shows on diabetes, always popular. You think something's healthy, but it's not. Well, you're right, it's not. So fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Fruit has fiber in it, which pushes the sugar through the colon, and fiber blocks up the sugar receptor site, so you don't absorb as much sugar. So a little bit of fruit for a diabetic is fine. We see diabetics all day, every day. Super Green's an essential source, yes.
Oh, I was going to say, thoughts on leaky gut?
I'm not done yet.
He's just trying to get questions in.
He is, because you're dominating today, yeah. So, but listen to the shows on the website, drjoe.com. We've done many, many shows on that. Another supplement you might want to consider is Gymnema. Gymnema I give to most of my diabetic patients. Stabilizes the blood sugar. Stuff's amazing. You need to call the office for that. It's not on the website. We have that it's in the back room. But Gymnema works real well, yes. So you call the office, you can get that. But we can put together a whole supplement protocol for a diabetic and just listen to the shows. I've covered it many, many times. And you have to eat anyway. On any condition, you might as well eat good food. So, yes, Garrett, do you have a question for me?
Yes, I do.
What would that be?
What are your thoughts on leaky gut syndrome and allergies?
Yes. Absolutely. Leaky gut syndrome leads to allergies. Because the leaky gut is you have little holes in your gut and you absorb undigested particles of protein, fecal matter, bacteria, and then the immune system has to attack it. In fact, one of my coworkers here was pollen season here in Georgia, and she was just so miserable with sinuses and blah, blah, blah. And I guess she's in her 40s, so I brought her in some Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. And I gave her that. Next time I saw her, she goes, oh my God, that stuff's amazing. I said, it's not for allergies. It's for breaking down your food to help heal the leaky gut so that you stop the allergies. So yes, the direct correlation between it. Yes. Yes. And yes.
I was going to ask you a question, but I can't remember what it is.
Was it about memory?
Probably.
Yes.
Started going here on Instagram with the participation of question asking.
Yeah, Instagram's been way more chatty.
Yeah, you guys are usually chatty. What's going on?
They're here watching. They're not asking.
That's right. You can watch. They're
I guess
voyeurs.
that you're just having so much knowledge, you're just trying to soak it all in.
That's what it is. They're health voyeurs. Yes, they like watching. So, what else we got? We're going to fix the sound next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Josh is going to come with us on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Talk to Rick.
To here? To the TV show?
Okay. Let's email Rick. Make sure he's here on Tuesday. Not that Josh comes all the way down here for nothing. But let's email Rick. Remind me tomorrow. I have his email address. Ah, we're dropping callers again. What's going on here?
818 on the cool rate carrier, WSB 20.
That's right. Oh, you got it there too? Okay. What's going on with these callers today? It's okay. We've got plenty of information. So.
Work 985 northbound past the 85 split. That's causing delays there. We're down in Bucks County on some progress and maybe finish around exit 201 Highway 36. Southbound
ringing again.
cleared up. Got a brake light
So we have another break around 8:38, 35, and then our final break, which is the end of the show, will be right around 8:58, 55, and they'll have us off the air by like 9, 9:05.
On News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're there, because today we're talking about surprising causes of heart disease, or things that can aggravate your heart. Kind of important. We need a heart, right? Yeah. And so we got to take care of the heart, and most of us don't. It's like your digestive system. People eat amazingly junky foods, and then go, gee, I wonder why I have gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, why I'm tired all the time, why my skin is rotten, why I have zits, why my hair's falling out, why I have bags under my eyes, why I have terrible digestive issues. Your body can only do so much. I mean, think how amazing your digestive system is. You can eat a double beef, square, or hamburger-ish type food with artificially processed cheese food spread, and your body converts that into eye tissue, or liver, or blood, or spleen, or kidneys. So your body is amazing, but you got to stop abusing it. You're in a bad relationship with your body, and eventually your body leaves. That's what happens. So stop beating your body up. Put the good foods in your body. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, if the bones are out of place, put them back in place. That's chiropractic care. This is why chiropractic is so popular. Every day, patients come in and say, my chiropractor. Dr. Joe is my chiropractor. Dr. Gail, Dr. Amy, Dr. Irwin, Dr. Sam. They're my chiropractors. Dr. Dr. Kat. My chiropractors. They own us. Because once you start getting people well, they like you. My mother warned me this when I went to school. I left for school. I was about 18 years old. And my mother said, be careful out there. She says, because when you start getting people well, you're going to become very, very popular. Now, this is way before I realized what I was going to be doing in my life. I knew I was going to be a chiropractor, but not with the nutrition and biochemistry and neurophysiology and everything else. And it's true. People love it when you get them well. And when you fix their kids, it's even more exciting. Because as a parent, you want your kid to get the best they possibly can. So that's why we see so many children in our offices with headaches and neck pain and emotional disorders. We're really good at fixing that stuff. So if you want to make an appointment, go to my website, drjoe.com. A bunch more callers. I want to talk about heartburn medications and how that skyrockets your risk of heart disease. But I want to get these callers in first. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Stanley, how can we make your day better? Sure. Of course. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Sure. Well, the low testosterone is a big issue. You got, how old are you? You're just a kid. I have socks older than you. Yes. Yeah, so with the low T, I would recommend getting adrenal support because the adrenal glands produce testosterone just like the testicles do. So Dr. Joe's adrenal support, really important. I take it every day. I couldn't imagine not taking it every day, especially as you get older. All of us need that to give the adrenal glands the specific nutrients that they need. It's coming up very... No, not at all. And we have a product for male testosterone, as a matter of fact, and for female hormones as well. We have to get the label approved by the FDA, and then it's going to be on the market. So, Garrett, do we have a timeline on that one? Do we have any idea?
We're looking at roughly a month and a half.
Okay, so start with Dr. Joe's adrenal support and do that. You got to stay away from the things that stress the adrenal glands, which is caffeine especially. So coffee, tea, chocolate, you got to cut those out as well. The same things that affect the thyroid affect the adrenals and affect the pituitary. The pituitary, the thyroid, and the adrenals all feed off each other. So I'm not surprised that if you have one problem with one of the organs, the other two aren't an issue as well. Now, you don't know if your pituitary is working or not. There's no symptoms, but it affects the thyroids and the adrenals. So as far as thyroid goes, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, great source of iodine, because chances are you're deficient in iodine, so you can't produce the chemicals that you need, the thyroid hormones, so you got to get that iodine in there. Chiropractic care, I check the 4th cervical nerve, that's the nerve supplying to the thyroid. The 12th thoracic nerve is the nerve supplying to the adrenal glands. So you want to get those puppies checked as well. And then we actually have thyroid protocols we can put you on, but I'd want to analyze you specifically to get together a specific protocol for you as well. So if you want to come into the office or call the office, we can go ahead and get that set up for you. There you go. Lots of hope out there, Stanley. Thanks. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Hang on, too. I'm going to get to you, I promise. I know some folks call up and I'm not picking it up right away. They go, I'm going to hang up. Don't hang up. We're going to get to you. 844-44-Dr. Joe. We're talking today about heart disease and different surprising things that can affect your heart. And I got to talk about heartburn medication because, you know, as a chiropractor, we always talk about the spine for neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, how good we are at helping people get rid of pain. And in our offices, we also work on the digestive system. If the stomach is pushed up against the diaphragm, you might have acid reflux. And by pulling the stomach away from the diaphragm, that helps with the acid reflux in most cases. But a lot of people have arrhythmias. They have rapid heart rate. They have bradycardia, tachycardia, which is fast heart rate, bradycardia, which is slow heart rate. When I was a kid, one of the earliest memories I have of being alive is laying in bed and feeling my heartbeat, boom, 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 and then it would stop, and then it would speed up and go. And I always thought that was normal. You're a kid. You just figure everybody has that. But it turns out I had horrible digestive issues. My stomach was up against my diaphragm, irritating what's called the vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S. And when the vagus nerve gets irritated, that can affect my heart rate. And so many times you have patients with arrhythmias or tachycardia, which is fast heart rate, or bradycardia. We pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, take the stress off the vagus nerve, and amazing things happen, especially with the heart. So I'm not saying that's a cure for everyone, but I am saying in many cases that's an issue. Even blood pressure. I can't tell you how many patients I have to tell them, listen, if we're going to adjust you and we're going to work on your digestive system to activate or take the stress off the vagus nerve, monitor your blood pressure. If the blood pressure goes too low, You got to give up the medication, or cut back on the medication, or cut back on your chiropractic care. Of course, we know the obvious answer there. And it's amazing what happens. Then we might get you on some nitric oxide to open up the blood vessels to help lower the pressure as well. Then we get you on the foods that are causing the high blood pressure. We get you off those foods. It's not hard, folks. It's easy once you know how the game is played. And after 35 years of playing this game, I'm getting really good at it. Now, I can't fix everything. We work very closely with orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons, vascular surgeons, general practitioners, dentists, psychiatrists, because we want to get you well every way we possibly can. But so many of those doctors send their patients to us, and we do the tune-up. We get the nervous system working. We get the digestive system working. Get them on good diets. We get them on super greens and essential source and other supplements that are necessary for them. And then they usually get better results. A lot of surgeons will send us cases and say, listen, I can't even operate on this person. They're a mess. Get them healthy as you can so we can operate on them so they don't die on our operating table. And then when they're done, they send them back to us and we work with them again. So you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know us who have most of the answers. Not all, but most. And if you want to make an appointment to come see us, the website, drjoe.com. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. If you're outside there and you can't come see us, we can always do phone consultations. But the website's a great source of information. We have podcasts, over 1,000 hours of podcasts, blogs. Send me questions if you have questions on the website if you can't get through today. We do have a couple lines open, I just noticed. If you have a question, give us a call at 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. We only have 2 more segments of the show, so get in quickly if you have a question. 844-44-Dr.Joe. Oh, just about to go into the segment on proton pump inhibitors. That Ahmad. Good thing you're bigger than me or else you'd be in trouble, pal. Folks, if you have a question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. When Ahmad plays the music, that means I got to go to break. Hey, do me a favor. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We live stream a lot of our shows. You can see my pretty face like some folks are right now. We sometimes have pop-up shows. And if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you'll know about that. And send us your email address through the website. We'll put you on our email newsletter as well. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. I'll be right back.
RPM of Atlanta is expanding.
Okay. 2 more seconds. Go somewhere.
First someone says, you're cool, man.
Well, you're cool too, for thinking I'm cool. That makes you cool.
They probably like dad jokes.
They like dad jokes? I'll try to come up with some other ones.
What was this dad joke that I missed?
Somebody said, do you include eggs and dairy? And he said, I've never seen a cow lay an egg, and I didn't react at all. So
That's funny. Come on.
Lewis tried to laugh like he would if his dad said it.
Yes, he's being polite. He's the intern, so he's got to be nice, you know. I can't fire him because I don't pay him, you know. So.
Yeah, so the question here is about black maca. What do you know about black maca root for male enhancement and test production?
You would get a bell. It's maca.
Maca.
I'm going to let you live this time, okay? So, black maca is great. Maca is what's called an adaptogen. So it goes into your body and it's utilized where it's needed. So maca is pretty cool for men and women issues, for romantic issues and for digestive issues and for all sorts of things. So maca is okay. Just make sure, as always, you always get a good quality. So
you know what's better?
Dad joke, go ahead.
No, it's not.
Oh.
I was going to say Dr. Joe's nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide, yeah. If you need circulatory issues, absolutely. Nitric oxide just rocks.
Dr. Joe is so excited for this.
I thought Jared was going to tell a dad joke. He had that look in his eye.
I had a waitress the other day tell me I'm a dad training after I let out a...
Yeah, you said something the other day, and I was like, no.
Can you tell Julie I need a name on line 1? Okay, she got it. Okay, she figured it out.
My favorite is she'll always tell me, I'm sleepy,
That's what
I'm
it is.
hungry. I'm hungry.
I had this great thing. I was reading somewhere, I forgot. You know, when you ask a woman, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know.
Yeah.
Say, guess where I'm taking you for dinner tonight.
Yes. It's like spinning the loop back out.
Exactly. Guess where I'm taking you for dinner tonight? Oh my gosh, we're going to go to our Thomas Grill. Yes! And then
I actually just texted Garrett and asked him if he wanted to go after.
Darn, I thought I was giving you advice here. Give you some dad advice.
No, the best advice is just to find a logical woman.
Find a what?
Find a logical...
I thought you said a lava woman. I was like, what's a lava woman? Is that some new, I don't know, millennial phrase that I don't know about? A logical woman, yes.
Garrett gets mad at my logic because when I get mad at him, I have like a list of reasons, and he's like, dang, I can't even argue with that.
I hate that. Hate when she's right. Yes.
See this one? Can the allergies reverse with time and a healthy lifestyle?
Can allergies? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You got to fix the colon with allergies. Most of them can go away. Not all of them, but most.
This person's allergic currently to coconut, peanut, peas, soy, citrus. Well, keep up. Don't eat the soy, regardless.
Yeah, right. Try to wait. That's a hard one. But if you, Dr. Joe's digestive enzyme, super greens, an essential source, fix the stomach, and then you can start introducing a lot of those problems back in because the food is being broken down in the stomach, the proteins are, and not trying to be broken down in the colon, which causes the inflammatory reaction, which causes the leaky gut, which oftentimes stimulates the allergic reaction. So,
what's your opinion on super beets?
super beets are okay. However, nitric oxide is like that stuff on steroids.
Could have been a dad joke in there somewhere.
Super beets?
Super beets.
Like that? Like beets? I don't know. Okay.
Don't think too hard about the dad.
Yeah, only I can do dad jokes here, pal. This is my specialty. You work that computer stuff that I don't understand.
You have a few years left before you got some real good dad jokes.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
Beets are great. They have nitrates in it. Nitrates converted to nitric oxide. Arugula has way more nitrates than beets do. But Dr. Joe's nitric oxide, citrulline, bam, that's the granddaddy of them all. So, yeah, and it's cheaper. So.
What vitamins do you recommend for blood pressure?
Well, it depends what's causing the high blood pressure. It's not a vitamin. The nitric oxide can open up the blood vessels, pull the stomach away from the diaphragm and take the stress off the vagus nerve, adjust the atlas, because the atlas many times controls the blood pressure through the vagus nerve. So there's a lot of different things you got to look at, but nitric oxide would be my starting point, and super greens an essential source. So those three.
What school did you go to?
I never went to school. I make all this up. Have you ever seen my diploma?
From BuzzFeed, right?
Yeah, BuzzFeed, yeah. No, you guys see BuzzFeed, yeah. That's where I got it from. I went to many schools. I went to Life University for my chiropractic degree, my BS in clinical nutrition. I went to Texas Chiropractic College for my orthopedic degree. My pain management degree I got through my orthopedic degree. One of my diplomates are through the American Chiropractic Association and through another group, so I have 2 diplomates in nutrition. So I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. Oh, it's Johnny Cash, I think, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Dr. Joe, I'm voting for you for president.
Yes! Cool, man. I'm there. Actually, I'll take Surgeon General. I'll take president, but I'll take Surgeon General.
Someone into presidency who will make Dr. Joe Surgeon General.
That's all. Well, I mean, we have our connections to Trump. You know, we have Herman Cain, we have Eric Erickson, and I'm near on speed dial with Trump. So I just really got to grab Eric one day and just say, hey, man, put the word in for me, will you? And he would. I mean, I love Eric, and I love Herman. I mean, gosh. I was talking to Herman one day. He goes, Dr. Joe. He says, you are a plethora of medical knowledge. He said, I must sit down with you one day and pick your brain. So,
I like that impression.
Like that? That's a good Herman Cain, right?
What do you recommend for CCs?
Fixing the gut again. Big allergy day today. Got to fix the gut because that's going to help tremendously with the protein digestion. The proteins get absorbed through the leaky gut into the blood. The immune system attacks them, and that causes the immune system to just go wacky. So stay away from wheat and dairy products always because those are the 2 hyperallergenic foods, most hyperallergenic foods. And then Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes, super greens, an essential source. Fix the gut, pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. Chiropractically, we open up the nerve supply to the organs, and in most cases, we get very, very good results.
Or, if you're a fan of anti-Dr. Joe, all he does to take care of his allergies is smash up Smarties and store them.
That's right, yeah.
And it works wonders.
Yeah, so if you don't know who Dr. Joe is, some of you don't know it.
I gotta get him to call in this week.
He will. He said any time. I mean, gosh, you know, he's patient. He's loving it. I adjusted him the other day. I was adjusted him right there on the floor, right there. And he goes, adjust me. And I pulled his neck out. I just went, brrr. He goes, oh my God, I have to marry you.
I was here one time and he said, you know, he did say, will you have my children?
Yeah, right. Who's he married to? He's married to the news reporter on Channel 5, Caitlin Pratt.
Yeah.
Caitlin Pratt, yeah. Yeah, but anti-Dr. Joe, I'm a guest on a show, Eric Von Hessler. Eric Von Hessler does 9 to 12 every day here on WSB. Huge ratings, unbelievable. Great show, but if you don't listen to it, you should. I'll be on Tuesday at 9:30. And anti-Dr. Joe is Tim, who does my voice, and he gives opposite advice of what I would do. It's hysterical, actually. So, all right, here we go.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito on WSB.
Hey, folks, Dr. Joe, if you're just tuning in, welcome. You're staying with us. Thanks so much. I do appreciate you staying with us. Only 2 more segments. Rush Limbaugh says the fastest 3 hours in radio. I disagree. This is the fastest 2 hours in radio. So, and Rush is, it's one of my colleagues here. Folks, if you have any healthcare questions, 844-44 Dr. Joe. I want to go into heartburn medications and how that skyrockets your risk of heart disease, but I want to get some callers first. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Will, how can we make your day better? Hello, Will. Yes, sir. Ah, good man. Yes. Uh-huh. Good. Sure. No, absolutely. Raw organic apple cider vinegar, I take it every day. I don't like it. I try to talk myself out of it every day. I try to make excuses as to why I'm not going to take it, but then I do anyway. I just don't like the flavor. I love the fact you're drinking all that water with it. It kind of washes it down, and that washes it off your teeth anyway, so you don't have to worry about anything there if you're drinking it that way. If you're getting heartburn from it, the stomach may be pushed up against the diaphragm, and that opens up what's called the lower esophageal sphincter, the hole in your diaphragm when the food drops in. So we pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, the lower esophageal sphincter closes, and then the apple cider vinegar will be fine. So as long as it's raw organic apple cider vinegar, absolutely positively, I think you should take it every day. All right. There you go. Thanks for listening, Will. I do appreciate it. Folks, if you have any questions, like Will, 844-44-Dr. Joe. You only have 2 more segments, so get it in there. If we don't get your question on the air, you can always go to our website, drjoe.com, and send it to us there. I try to answer them all of them personally if I can. We get bombarded, of course, you can imagine, so we're more than happy to do what we can. But most importantly, just come see us. If you have a problem, go to my website, drjoe.com, make an appointment. We work with almost all the insurance companies. There's in-network benefits. Sometimes people say we're not in-network, we're out-of-network benefits, and you actually pay less without a network benefit. So talk to my staff about your situation. We try to match your benefits as close as we possibly can. So it's really simple to get well and stay well. And if you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. So you definitely want to come see us as soon as you can. Even if the accident was 50 years ago, it's better than 50 years in one day. And we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. So let me cover this. I've got Mary on hold. We've got a bunch of other callers, too. If you have a question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Are you among the 20 million Americans taking acid-inhibiting drugs to help with heartburn? If so, you really got to pay attention to this. Previous research shows that proton pump inhibitors, now this stops your stomach from producing protons are acids. So it stops your body from producing stomach acid, are severely overprescribed and misused. Proton pump inhibitors are among the most widely prescribed drugs today, with an annual sales of $14-15 billion a year. $1 billion. That's a lot of money. Proton pump inhibitors, the most powerful class of antacid drugs, were actually designed to treat a very limited range of problems. I want you to listen to this if you're taking these medications. Bleeding ulcers, Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, which is a rare condition where you actually produce too much stomach acid. Very, very rare. Severe acid reflux, where an endoscope has confirmed that the esophagus has been damaged. If you're taking them, you've got a problem. About 60 to 70% of people taking these drugs have mild heartburn, and they shouldn't be taking them. Read the directions. The drugs were initially released during the first years of my practice back in the 80s, so they've been around for as long as I have. And it's important to note that these drugs can only be obtained with prescription originally. Here's the key word. And were not recommended for use of more than 1 week. How many of you have been taking these medications for years? Raise your hands. Not a good idea, and not the way they're designed to be taken. The recommendations for the use for maximum of 2 weeks was like on the high end, and no more than 3 times a year. How many of you take them every day? Again, but many ignore this, and you stand on far longer. The report side effects of the proton pump inhibitors included things like pneumonia, bone loss, hip fractures, and infection. Something called C. diff. It's a harmful intestinal bacteria. Most important to realize that while proton pump inhibitors reduce the production of stomach acid, the most severe cases may be warranted, but short-term only. Vast majority, 95% of heartburn causes, are not caused by too much stomach acid. They're actually caused by too little stomach acid. And then if you don't have enough stomach acid, the food sits in your colon, in your stomach, and it rots. And when it rots, it gives off something called lactic acid. And lactic acid, many times, is what's refluxing up into your throat. So it may not be stomach acid that's the problem, it's not enough stomach acid. That's why when we put people on things like Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes, and we start speeding up the digestive process, a lot of that acid reflux go away. If the stomach is up against a diaphragm, you have to come see us so we can pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, adjust the stomach. And it may take several visits. Don't expect it's a one and done. And results are usually amazing. And so getting to the cause of the problem is always our goal, not just treating the symptoms, but getting to the cause. If you have a question, give us a call. I got a few I'm going to take right now. 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. We'll try to get you on the air. And let's start with Mary. How can we make your day better? Yes. Okay. Uh-huh. Sure. Sure. Right. Now, is it blood pressure or cholesterol we're talking about? Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. So blood pressure is several things, and we get this question all the time. Number one medication I see patients on is blood pressure. Number two is cholesterol. So blood pressure is a couple of things. Number one, if you're overweight, of course, we need to lose weight. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, if the stomach is up against the diaphragm, it irritates what's called the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve controls part of your blood pressure. So if the vagus nerve is being irritated, it can cause high or low blood pressure, depending on how the nerve is being irritated. So we may have to adjust or pull the stomach away from the diaphragm to take the stress off the vagus nerve. We adjust the upper part of the neck in most cases. That's the atlas. And the atlas can have an impact on the vagus nerve as well, which helps control blood pressure. So adjusting the spine many times helps with blood pressure. We might get you on something called Dr. Joe's nitric oxide. There you go. Yes. Just come see us, Mary, yeah. And then nitric oxide will help open up the blood vessels as well. But when you come see us, we'll check the stomach, we'll check the spine, we'll talk about supplements, we'll get you on a good diet, and hopefully we'll get this thing under control for you. Fair enough? Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. No, we love working with kids. All right, great, man. I look forward to meeting you real soon. You can call this number, 844-44-Dr. Joe. That rings through to my offices during business hours, and you can make an appointment or through the website, drjoe.com. You rock, Mary. Thank you. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Got to go to break. One more segment. If you have any questions, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. My website, drjoe.com. And you can get supplements there. You can make appointments there. You can listen to podcasts. You can read my blog. Great website, by the way, drjoe.com. We're revamping it, too, so let us know when you do the revamp if you have any ideas that you might want to throw in there, too. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Our number here, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We'll be right back.
Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches. Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors and let's see if you have a problem that we can help. Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. to make an appointment today, because so many of you are out there suffering needlessly and we want to put a stop to that. Come see us at our offices in Marietta, Stockbridge, and Duluth. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Okay.
So we shouldn't even be plugging the next show anyways.
I think that's okay. Yeah, we should. It should follow. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like local appearances like that, I don't know, because this is all over the world. They'll go, who's on Hessler? What's 9:30? What time zone? So. All right.
My wife was diagnosed with pulmonary stenosis, and she's taking meds for that. Can she ever get off of it? Plant-based, they've been on a plant-based lifestyle since August of last year.
Okay, so you're doing the right things. Now you got to check the nerve supply. If you're on a plant-based diet, you're really doing it, and it's working, and you're doing everything right, you got to check the nerve supply to the arteries and the blood, everything. So I would check the nerves right in here. If she has neck pain or upper back pain, that might be a pinched nerve that could be affecting it as well. And then we always got to check the stomach. So the stomach is such a key player in all of this. So The answer is if we fix it, hopefully she can get off it, but I'm not a medical doctor. I can't take her off her meds. Her doctor would have to. My goal is get her well enough she doesn't need the meds. So come see us and we'll see what we can do.
What do you think about medical marijuana?
I'm okay with it. In fact, Belinda Skelton and I here at the station are going to be doing a show real soon on CBD and medical marijuana and cannabinoids and how it affects the body and everything. So I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's kind of like, it's just another thing out there. Alcohol, my opinion is people drink and die from it too. So in my world, everybody be plant-based and not drink, but nobody lives in my world except me. So
That's funny. Plant-based.
Plant-based and marijuana is a plant.
Oh, it's a plant.
That's
Oh.
a funny.
That's funny. Somebody as high as you, maybe you came up with that. No? He's not high, I'm only kidding. So, I assume.
Not high as you know of.
That's right. As far as I know, anyway, yeah. So,
Been
yes.
stealing Von Hustler's edibles lately.
You have been? Okay.
No, but we should look to do. Would we be able to pre-record, or could we record in the middle of a segment? So when we first get here, on our first break, or even right before our break, can we record a promo for the outro that is talking about Von Hessler?
Sure. Why not? Let's do that. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Because I do want to give them that. They talk about you all the time.
Oh, sure.
I definitely want to start getting.
It's a good idea, actually. Yeah, because Zaman has a clock. He just has to pull us out 10 seconds early, 30 seconds early. We can do it. Sure. Yeah, tell him about that. I think it'd be great.
You want to try it now? Like this time?
Ask him. I don't know if we have time at this break. I don't have enough time to do it. So.
Question for you in the meantime. I understand you don't like chemical sunscreen. What do you think of the brand Blue Lizard Sensitive? It has titanium dioxide and zinc oxide.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I don't know that brand, so I can't really say it. I've done shows on sunscreen before. If you go to the website, it should be on there. Yeah. Coconut oil has a SPF of 8. Not enough, though. The key to sun is really you got to be out in the sun for about 15 or 20 minutes and then cover up. I mean, that's really going to be the best thing for you. So.
Start packing. No showings, no open houses, no stress. It's that simple. Go to markspain.com/guaranteed offer. That's
So the person that asked earlier about his wife has pulmonary stenosis.
Yes.
Apparently she also has a
28 seconds now.
Right now?
Ready?
Okay. Hey folks, this Tuesday I'm going to be on the Eric Von Hessler show. Me and my buddies are going to have a great time as we always do. It's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, of course, here on WSB Radio. Make sure you tune in.
One more? Yeah, one more.
Hey folks, this is Dr. Joe, of course, you know that. I'm going to be on Eric Von Hessler show. I'm on every week, and me and Eric and Tim and Jared, okay.
One last try.
Got time now? No, okay.
Perfect.
Darn it.
No
Next
worries.
time. We'll get it next time.
Good idea.
It's a good idea. It's a great idea, yes. Just leave yourself a note to do it next time. That was brilliant. I just didn't. I can't do it under pressure. That's bullcrap. Of course I can do it. Work under pressure. Okay. So should we do the promo then? Next
No,
show?
don't worry about it.
Go away. Listen to Dr. Joe Esposito on News 95.5 and AM 750 WSB.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Just tuning in. Welcome. If you've been with us, thank you. I do appreciate that. Last segment. Gosh, this goes so quick. So you have any questions, you want to sneak them in now, 844-44-Dr. Joe. We're talking about proton pump inhibitors and acid reflux medications and everything that affects your heart. And we cover a lot of topics today, so if you just tuned in, you missed an amazing show. It'll be on the website tomorrow, drjoe.com. You can watch the video as well, because we live stream a lot of these shows too. You can see my pretty face. And then at the breaks, we kind of talk to the live streamers as well, so that's kind of fun. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. The website's there 24 hours a day, drjoe.com. Let's take a caller here. Dennis, how can we make your day better? Hello, Dennis. You're welcome. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, well, here's the thing. I'll tell you what to do, but in 3 years, you tell the doctor. Remember the old one and new one? I follow Dr. Joe's advice. Send all your patients to Dr. Joe. Will you do that for me? All right, that's a deal. All right, I'll make a deal with you. Okay, what you got to do is you really want to eat more plants because whenever you eat animal products, meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream, that causes an inflammatory reaction in the gut, and that could be a reason why you're having the polyps. And very rarely does someone on a plant-based diet ever have polyps. So let's do what everybody else does, plant-based diet. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, you could listen to the first lecture I did called The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, talk about what not to eat, and then type in, so what can I eat, and that'll come up next, and that'll tell you what to eat. Supplement-wise, if you have acid reflux or heartburn, you got to come see us so we can pull the stomach away from the diaphragm so you can digest your food more efficiently. Whenever I eat a cooked meal, I always take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes because it helps break down the food and take the stress off my colon. So anytime you eat something cooked, plant-based, Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. Super Green's an essential source. That's the minimum amount of nutrients you should be getting every day, and everybody should be taking Super Green's an essential source because that's the starter. That's your starter plan, the starter kit. So Super Green's an essential source and digestive enzymes for cooked food. And once you listen to those CDs, you'll have a much better understanding as to what to eat, what not to eat. And chances are, if you do it all, and something raw at every meal. Now, when I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, salad, because raw food is going to have enzymes in it, and the fiber is going to help push the food through the colon, taking the stress off the colon lining. And I hope in 3 years you come in, the doctor says, did we do something wrong? Because it's nothing here. And that's what usually happens. So. All right? All right, good deal. Thanks, Dennis. Do it all. Thanks, man. Bye. Yeah, it is easy, folks, and it's really cheap, too. That's the fun part. When you start eating a plant-based diet, it's so much cheaper than anything else you can possibly eat. Oh, and now, of course, all the lines light up. Folks, if I don't get to you, I think Julie's just hanging up on people over there. I don't know what she's doing over there. She just keeps hanging up on everyone. So. Sorry, folks. If you don't get through, send the question through the website, drjoe.com. So we're talking about proton pump inhibitors, which slow down your production of acid. And that's not a good thing because you need acid, because acid breaks down proteins into amino acids. And then it goes into the small intestine where the pancreas kicks in and helps out digestion a little further, breaking down the proteins. But if you're eating a lot of cooked foods and the food is sitting in your colon for too long, it's a problem. Then you stop the acid production, it makes it even worse. So that's why we put people on enzymes like Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. Super Green's an essential source, by the way, of enzymes as well, and that really helps tremendously with that. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Robert, how can we make your day better? Good. Sure. 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 Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, so what happens on that, and this is, the number one reason we see patients is pain. Of course, we're a team of chiropractors. I'm board certified chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management, nutrition. So people come to us, number one, for pain. Number two reason we see patients is digestive issues, acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas bloating. So in a case like yours, Robert, we probably need to adjust the stomach or pull it down away from the diaphragm. When we pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, then it stays below the diaphragm and digests the food as opposed to sliding up into the diaphragm. So very, very common. If you go to my website, under my blog, I think it's the second article I have exactly on that topic. But come see us and hopefully we'll get that fixed for you. Yeah, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area, yes. Yeah, this number during business hours, thanks. Yeah, folks, we love getting people well. It's so much fun. And again, we work with most insurance companies, try to match your benefits the closest we can. Car accidents, if you've ever been in a car accident, I'm begging you, I'm pleading you, come see us. If the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. You are not stronger than your car, and you have to get that fixed. Rob, how can we make your day better? Good man. Okay. You're right. Perfect. Again, it could be a vagus nerve issue. The vagus nerve is a big nerve. It comes out of your neck and controls all your digestive organs except your adrenal glands, and it has a big impact on your blood pressure. So you might have done something, you maybe had a pinched nerve going to the vagus nerve. You might have been doing stimulants like coffees or teas, and you cut that out. You might have changed your diet, started digesting your food more efficiently. So there's a lot of reasons why it goes up, and I'm not sure what you did to make it go down, but whatever you did was the right thing. So. normalized, yeah. I'm not sure what you did, but whatever it was, that was great. And we try to do that on purpose in our office every day with patients like you. Get the stomach, the digestive system, and the nervous system working. You just did it by accident, but I couldn't tell you what you did. I have no idea. That That's a good idea, Rob. Great. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah, folks, we're probably not going to get any more callers in because we're getting a little close to the end here. But if you have any questions, if we didn't get you in, go to our website, drjoe.com. I know we live stream a lot of these shows. If I can't get to your questions, folks, just go to our website and send them to us. Most important thing was just make an appointment to come see us because I can give you like preliminary things. That's why we have the disclaimer on every show. This is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure anything. When you come into the office, my doctors and I can do a much better job as to trying to figure out where your problems are coming from. So as we wrap it up here, I do want to talk about these proton pump inhibitors and how so many people overutilize them. There's two things you can do. One is neutralize the production, slow down the production of acid, or actually neutralize the acid in your stomach. But it's very, very rare that someone has too much stomach acid. It's usually too little stomach acid, and then the food rots in the colon, and that's where the problems come in. So you got to be careful. Getting off them is not as easy. You simply just can't quit them cold turkey if you're taking these medications. You want to go off it slowly. Folks, we're running out of time. If you have any questions, the website is drjoe.com. You can make an appointment there, send us questions. We'll listen to a podcast, over 1,000 hours of podcast. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, because we live stream a lot of our shows. Next week, we can do a show on vitamin D. I know a lot of you are taking the synthetic version of vitamin D. I'm going to tell you why that may not be your best choice. And we're going to cover a lot of things about your immune system, your heart. It's so important as to what to do about vitamin D. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, our website, drjoe.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Bam.
No one believes my home's
Okay.
15 years old.
Well, thank you guys on live streaming. I do appreciate that. Tell your friends. Share this with all your friends, too. And if you follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, vice versa. We got to build up our team, okay? Thanks so much. We'll catch you next week.